let's start. Good morning. My name is Francisco Martinez. I'm a UC Voice architect from the Communication Center of Excellence at Microsoft Services. And today we are going to talk about the Lync online bandwidth, mainly. And then we are going to talk about a little bit about the security implications of Lync online. So the agenda for today is first we are going to try to identify the media path topologies that we have when we are using Lync online. Because, well, you know, we know almost everything looks like it's the same than on-premise deployment. And also in terms of functionality, probably almost all the functionalities are there when you are online also. You don't have to manage servers, of course. But well, we are going to go into the media path topologies. We are going to review when we have peer-to-peer, when we have media conference calls, audio, video, federation. And then also we are going to talk about the requirements to control and the bandwidth. We're going to talk about NAT devices, what happens in this scenario, because Lync users are outside of are on the internet. They have to connect through the internet to Lync online infrastructure. And then we're going to cover also kind of a little bit of QoS, quality of services. And at the end, we're going to cover also Lync online security, some stuff about RTP traffic and encryption, what's encrypted, what is not encrypted, and at the very end, some of the retention policies. So this is just a quick overview of what we have with Lync online, with Lync and Lync online 2013. We have this almost the same workloads. We have a multi-party H video. We have mobile. We have Lync on mobile device. We can integrate with social, and also we also have the federation with Skype with Lync online also. So this is pretty much the same. And why customers want to go to Lync online? Usually because it's the fastest path to go to get the services. They don't have to invest on servers. They don't have to manage the servers. So they only have to provision their users, and from there they have to deploy clients and get connected and start to work with the solution. So we are also into the quarterly updates. So we are getting updates each three months on the infrastructure. It's pretty much the same way secure by design than the Lync on-prem. When you deploy Lync on-prem, it's pretty much very simplified. You don't, as an administrator, they don't have to take care of almost anything from the server's perspective. They have to take care of their customers or their clients. In terms of the comparison between the Lync servers on-premise and the Lync online, we have to pay a lot of attention on the media controls. We don't have those kind of features and functionality that we have with Lync on-prem, like, for instance, CAC, color nation control. We don't have that. And we also don't have, so far, enterprise voice. So far, I mean, until the announcement that we have this week during the keynote. So we are going to have it in the future, but not now. Also, this part is important and means this is one of the reasons why we built this session. Is about, well, what's happened with the media over internet, or what should we care, and what kind of what we can do in terms of trying to improve media quality over this on this scenario. I mean, traffic on the internet. And also, it's very important because, as you already know, we have a Lync bandwidth calculator for on-premise deployments. So that is not covering Lync Online. So a typical question from a customer is, well, how much bandwidth I have to provision on my MPLS network, but also how much bandwidth I have to provision on my internet connection, because now that internet connection is going to be the pipe where all the traffic is going to the Office 365 data center. So that is very important to provision. Well, yeah, as I told you, we don't have to manage servers, but we have to provision the right internet bandwidth from the data centers or from the branch office to the online data centers. And then also users are going to connect or going to use their managed networks, but from there to the Lync Online data centers, we have to go through internet, and that's an unmanaged network, so we cannot control traffic over there. So we can do some stuff about our managed networks. We can apply some QoS policies probably on that managed networks, but once the packets reach internet and travel to the internet, through the internet to the online data centers, we don't have control over on that. So it's very important. Why is this very important? I just had a customer back in one of the countries in LATAM, and they were deploying Lync Online, and one of the things that they were very, very, they paid a lot of attention, it was the experience on using audio and also video during their conference. If you don't take care on this, probably we are going to end with bad experience on the users side. And also, other question is, well, is that traffic secure? We are also, we have to make sure that that traffic is also secure and tell that to the customer. In terms of bandwidth, this is more or less the kind of deployment that we have when we deploy Lync Online. We have the internet. I told you it's a managed network, so we cannot do anything on that. We cannot apply QoS. We cannot control traffic over internet. So on the other hand, we have the managed network. From customers, and we even on that customers, we have kind of internal users for the customers, but we also have external users for the same customers, but also from the Office 365 or Lync Online perspective, all of them are external. Like if they are connected, actually they use edge servers, Lync Online edge servers to get the services, to get connected. So from that perspective, you can see how this architecture, this topology changed from the in comparison with the on-prem deployment. On on-prem deployment, I have the servers, I have real internal users, which are connected directly to the servers through my network. And also I have just a fraction of the users who are external and are connecting to the edge, my edge servers that I manage. But in this case, all these users are connecting to these edge servers, and seems that they are, well, all of them, they are remote, and they are going to connect to the edge servers to the online. So from that perspective, it changed almost everything in terms of the topology, or in terms of the media path. Okay, so why is this important? Since we cannot control traffic on the internet, customers can be affected by if we don't take care of this. It's a little bit harder. I mean, it's a little bit harder because we cannot control that traffic on the internet, but we can make it worse if we don't pay attention on some other stuff like the right bandwidth provisioning on the internet. on the internet connection for these customers. But also we have some scenarios where the users, even they are connected to the online services, the users or the call between those users are going to happen on a managed network, on the customer network. And from that point, we can manage that traffic. We can improve that traffic. So we cannot help everywhere, but at least for that, we can take care of those kind of traffic on their customer network, on the customer side of the network. This is very, very important also in terms of adoption, because we usually start by deploying IM presence, and that is amazing when the customer says, well, now I can get connected with my client, my users, and we can IM, I have presence, we can chat. But since the moment they start to make calls or with audio calls or video calls, we have to take care of that. And that's the point where sometimes they start to notice some bad services. They start to notice delay, jitter, packet loss, not enough bandwidth on the connections. So that is going to impact at the end the adoption of the services. So they are going to say, well, it's Lync, which is not working well, but it's not that's not the case in this scenario. Okay. So about the media topologies. So as I already told you, all the users are connected if they were external for servers perspective. They are connected, all of them, they are connected to the edge server. So from that point, this is the first scenario that we have. We are expecting to have the optimized path for the media, which means, well, we are having a peer-to-peer audio or video, we are expecting to have a peer-to-peer media, peer-to-peer traffic flow. It means that if I am in an internal network, my peer is in the same network, I expect just to send the traffic between these two computers. If you remember a session from Thomas, that's once the ICE negotiation happens, I'm going to expect that the host candidates are going to be interchanging media traffic. I don't have to go anywhere else because they are in the same network. That's that we expect to happen. So in this case, we have two online users, user A, this one, and user B. They are calling each other, and we are going to expect this traffic happen host to host. Okay, so that's that's the preferred way to do it. But we also have another options. Okay, for instance, we can also have the user A calling to one remote users from customers' perspective. All of them are remote actually. I mean, these users are outside, are on internet. So part of that traffic, part of that traffic is going to go between on my internal network, but also is going to go through the internet to this external network, right? That's the second scenario that we can have. So we can manage this traffic here. We can control traffic, media traffic here, but we can control up to this point, but we cannot do anything about on this point. And the third scenario using peer-to-peer is these two users are on internet, and they are using the edge servers of Lync online. And we also can expect to have the peer-to-peer or at least stun candidates traffic from this point to this point. Okay. Then actually there is another one, another media traffic. We have host to host, and then we can have a stun, and then we have another one. Which one is the another one? Churn. Yeah. What's going to happen in that scenario? Imagine that something is blocking the connection between the client, this user A here, this one, and the user B. Something is blocking this connection. We could not establish the connection there. So during the ICE negotiation, we couldn't connect host to host. Okay? So that because they tried that because that's the optimal path. Then from there, they start to negotiate second candidates, and they say, well, we can go to the stun probably. But something probably is blocking also a stun connection. So stun means that they are going to look into this IP on the firewall, and this IP on the firewall probably, and they are going to try to send the traffic here, and then from here to here. That's actually is not optimal also, because imagine these users are on a branch office. If their users are on a branch office, I'm gonna use my MPLS network, my internal MPLS network here, and then I'm gonna send the traffic to the MPLS. That probably is not necessarily in that point. So the third option is, well, I couldn't also I'm not allowing this connection. I'm blocking this connection also. And then I have to go to the edge servers, which is the turn candidates, relay that traffic back to the user, and then I'm going to increase the bandwidth here. So imagine this from one user. Imagine, since you are not controlling the network from the customer, imagine that happened for 1,000 or users. What is going to happen with your internet connection? All the media traffic is going to the edge servers, and then going back again to your network. So this is not optimal for us. And this is very important, because when you are in charge of the on-prem, and you are in charge of your network, internal network, customer network, I mean, you can fix it. Okay? You know that if something like this is going to happen, and you can fix it and take care of this. But since you are not managing Lync online servers, you don't know what is going to happen. So you have to take care of your network in order to avoid this scenario, because it's going to increase your bandwidth. So if we already have the consideration about internet, if we already have the consideration about my network, and we don't pay attention on this, we are going to add this issue or this consideration into my scenario. So this is not good. Okay? So this is going to impact the internet bandwidth requirements. Multiply this scenario per 1,000 or 2,000 users having this. There is not going to be internet bandwidth enough to cover this. Okay? So that's one of the scenarios that we are trying to avoid, but that still can happen. Okay? So this is the second one that I show you. And then that's for peer-to-peer. Okay? And then we have the media path for conference, also for audio and also for video. We have the same. We are always have to deal with the edge. So, but for the conference, SIP traffic, media traffic has to go to the MCU, to the data center. So we cannot do anything about it. So all the traffic has to go to the Lync conference MCU. So we have to consider that, again, we are managing this, but we cannot do anything about this traffic on internet, or also this traffic on internet, media traffic, I mean, on internet. Okay? So for conference, everything is going to the online servers through the edge. Okay? Okay, so now we know all this about the bandwidth. We know all this about the media topology. We know how is going to happen that. We know that all the users are connected to the edge, and we know that we are going to use that internet connection. So from there, we can say, well, what do I have in order to calculate or to know how much bandwidth do I have to provision? So that's a common question from your customer. So we have the table where we can see, well, depending on the codec, depending on the workload, I mean, voice, conference, video, depending on that, is more or less the same than the Lync on-prem. So what we can do from this point to calculate that? Yes, question. Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to answer with the next slide. So you can say, well, you already told me this is the path for media. Okay, it's a little bit different than from on-prem. And then the next question is, let's put all together. Let's say, okay, I have a branch office, A, B, C, D, a headquarter office, and all of them are going to be connected to the Lync Online. And they are going to start to use and making calls between the users, making conference. How do I calculate that? And then this table probably can help me. Okay? But to respond to your question is, can we use the Lync bandwidth calculator to solve this question? And the right answer to that is Lync bandwidth calculator is not right now for Lync Online. It's not. Well, however, we can still leverage some of the Lync bandwidth calculator to do the math on these scenarios. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do in the demo. Okay, so for instance, do we have in the case for the Lync bandwidth calculator, we have a central site. We can add central sites into the Lync bandwidth calculator, and then attach some branches into that central site, and from there I can start to build my scenario and to start to do the math into the Lync bandwidth calculator. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, a central site is going to be like a Lync Online data center. Just my data center is different. It's not with me. It's on internet, but it's still my data center. The other change is that in this case, all the users are external from Office 365 perspective. But for me, I still can say, well, let's say that they are like internal users. So let's see how we can do that. Okay. Let's review this. This is number 8. So can you see now my? Yes, you can. Yeah. Okay. So this is the Lync bandwidth calculator. See, and this is the scenario. Oh, let me show you the scenario on Lync bandwidth calculator. So this is more or less the scenario that we have. So we have branch offices here. We have branch office with Lync users. We have also branch offices with Lync users and PSTN connections. We have another branch office. And then we have one central site here with the servers. We don't have these servers, okay? But we still have all of these users. We still have users that are at this branch, at this headquarters, at this central site. And we also, in this case, we are considering to calculate the internet traffic for the external users. And we have another central site. So then we still have, for our scenario, we still have an MPLS connection. So let me show you how this change. Okay? Can you see that? Yes? Okay. So we have more or less the same. We have the branch site A, branch site B, branch site Z. We still have the headquarters. Can you see? It's more or less the same. Okay? And then my servers are here on internet. Okay? It's more or less the same. I have the MPLS also. So it looks like they are more or less the same. So I can leverage some portions of the bandwidth calculators to still calculate this bandwidth on internet. Okay, let's see how to do that. Okay, one of the first things that I remove is the PSTN connection because I don't have PSTN connection. So for bandwidth calculator, we are considering some traffic are going to go through the PSTN on the branch to the central site. We don't have that in this. We don't have this in this scenario. So we are going to remove that on the Lync bandwidth calculator, that traffic, because we don't have that traffic so far. The future probably we are going to have that, so we can enable and add that traffic to the calculation. Okay, but not now. Okay, what else? Where do I have to calculate that bandwidth? How much bandwidth do I need here on these connections to my MPLS? How much bandwidth do I need to calculate here on this connection? And then same for the other branch. And then how much bandwidth I have to calculate for this connection, MPLS connection to my headquarters, and then finally to the internet. Okay? So let's start. Let's go back to the. I'm gonna do the math. Let's say first have to do all this definition, then the persona definition. Something that is very important here for this for the demo. I'm gonna use this usage model. That means that the 80% of the users will be connected at the same time. Okay, 1.5% of the users will be connected at the same time for, we'll have PSTN connections, and then 0.3% is going to have peer-to-peer video, 3% is going to have audio conference, then 0.5% is going to have video conference, and 1% is going to have desktop sharing. So that means if I have 100 users, one of that user is going to have a call at the same time, a desktop sharing. Sorry, one of the and then 2 users are going to have peer-to-peer audio. Almost 1 user is going to have video at the same time. 3 users are going to have 1 audio conference of those 100 users. Okay, that's the idea on this. So once I'm going to define just one for this example, just I'm going to define. Why this is not working? Cannot use the mouse. Yes, we check. It's not working. This is not mouse or what? What is not working? No, actually, no, but
he's trying to use the
no,
mouse.
I'm sorry. It's my fault. Yeah, so then I'm going to use just one okay, just I'm gonna use one persona definition for this Lync client. You see Lync deployment here on premise. It said on premise. Next version probably we're gonna have this Lync option for online. We're gonna enable that, so we can do this easily. So then we are gonna define medium for everywhere, for every kind of workload. I mean presence, peer-to-peer audio, peer-to-peer video, conference video, etc. And we are going to remove this because we don't have PSTN, right? That's what I told you from the diagram that I have. And then we are going to define other options, probably for Lync 2010, for the kind of video that the kind of video that we are going to have with Lync 2013, and also the multi-view usage for view usage for Lync 2013 and all those stuff. One other important thing is the remote users. The remote user is like, well, remote users for on-premise are all users who are connected to the edge. But remote users for online are all of them. For online, all the users are remote, okay? So I'm going to just specify this. I will not have remote users, even I know they are remote for Lync Online. And then from there, have to go to my sites. So my central site is going to be Office 365. Okay? So I don't know the internet connection for that, bandwidth internet connection for that central site. I mean from the data center. So I don't care about this number now. And then I have one Tucson branch site. This one, okay, with 100 users. Okay, and then I have leads, and then I call it Las Vegas, the other one. Okay, just for the demo. So I have 100 users in that site, and in Leeds I have 200 users. His central site, in this case, is Office 365. Right? That's right. That's the truth. They are using Office 365. Okay? Then they don't have local PSTN, so I set this as no. Okay? I'm not considering this other parameter. And then I have to specify the one link speed on that connection. This is like the bandwidth on this connection to the MPLS. Okay, so that's that number. And then I have how much of that bandwidth is for media, for RTC traffic. Okay, don't have CAC. I told you we don't have CAC on Lync Online. I'm going to use just desktop information worker persona definition with 100 users on that site. So I still can use 2 more persona definitions on this scenario, but just for the example, I'm going to use 1. Okay? So this is the calculation. Let's do it just simple. These are the usage model. This is the bandwidth for each warlock. And then I have just one, the branch site A, 100 users. So I want to have connected 80 users. Per 3 kbps, I'm going to end with 240 kbps. And then 2 inter-site peer-to-peer audio calls. So does this mean that I have to multiply these two numbers, 91 per 2, and then we will have a 182. The same for inter-site peer-to-peer video, then for audio conference, then for video conference, and at the end, the last is for desktop sharing. I don't have, again, PSTN traffic across 1 coming from the branch. Okay? So then, how much of this traffic is going to be is going through my internet connection? I mean, let's review. This traffic is peer-to-peer, so I already considered that traffic. And then this is my conference traffic, one of the conference, the orange one, on this side, and this is SIP traffic, the green one. Okay, so I already have the traffic at some point on time for this branch, just for 100 users. Okay, peer-to-peer traffic are going to stay on my MPLS. This is the blue one. So I had to take those numbers out on the calculation. This, which has audio and video. Those traffic are not going to go through my internet connection. They are going to stay on the MPLS. Okay, so at the end, I will have this amount of traffic going to this point, and also to this point, right? Because my servers are not here. So if I do that, if I keep doing that and now for the other branch side, for 200 users, I have the same calculation, all this information, and then I have the same number here, the total traffic, bandwidth required on that branch side. Okay? So, well, these are some nice functionalities that we have on the Lync bandwidth calculator that is telling you if the bandwidth that you already allocate for that branch office is enough or not. Okay? So, seems good. Then I'm going to aggregate the results. So now here, I told you, my central site is Office 365. So I have added all that to the site, and I have almost 6 megabytes on that site. This is the number for this connection. That's the bandwidth that I will need on that connection, because my internet connection has to go through this site for the branches. And then I need to calculate, still need to calculate this. So what traffic should I have to add? I have already this branch site. I already have this branch site. I can also add this branch site. But I need to add also headquarters Lync users. For what kind of traffic? For peer-to-peer? No. They are the same. Peer-to-peer traffic are going to stay. The blue one, this one, is going to stay on my MPLS network. So I'm going to add that traffic into this bandwidth, but not into this. Okay? So what traffic I'm going to add into my internet connection? I'm going to add traffic for conference. Okay? So from there, and then I'm going to have this number. So what should I do? I'm going to treat this, I'm going to think that this headquarter is also a branch. So I can add Vegas here as a branch, connected also to the internet. Let's say with 1,000 users. And now I already have the numbers for peer-to-peer, conference, and everything else. Okay? And on the aggregated tab, I have the total. Which one? This total. This total to the internet. So I know the bandwidth calculator was not created for online scenario, but I'm still trying to use it. And in the future, we will enable that other option that said instead of on-prem, it could be set online, and we will make your life easy on this calculation. Make sense? Okay. Questions so far? Good?
Any ETA on the Office 365 approved version of the calculator? We can take it offline if we need to.
That's a very good question. For the ETA, for the bandwidth calculator online, it's a work in progress. And as you heard this earlier in the week, that we will be also enabling voice in the cloud and all this things happening. So once this all work is going parallel, so once we have some clear guidelines on it, we'll go ahead and put that stuff, and then we'll have the version ready for Office 365 completely. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for the question. Yes. Well, this is just for the bandwidth, and the bandwidth means. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean about quality. It just means about. I need a road like this, but I don't know if that road has holes, a lot of traffic inside, and so yes, and from there, so we have another tool to just to do some reliability test on my connection to the Office 365 data centers. So this tool, you probably have used it. This tool, you can go there and do some media tests, audio, video tests, and upload and download speed tests, void connection tests. But it's just it is over internet, so sometimes you can get some results, good results. Sometimes you are not going to get good results. It means for voice or for video. So the bandwidth stuff is just to provision how much do I need, but not the quality. I cannot control the internet. Still cannot control the internet mainly for the conferences, because for the peer-to-peer, those peer-to-peer calls stays on my network, and then I can control that. So I even on my network on the MPLS, I can apply QoS policies, at least for those calls, to improve those calls. And not for media traffic. The traffic who is going to internet, I cannot do anything on it over internet. I can do it on my network, but once they leave my network, that packet is on their own on internet. Yes.
Is this a new tool that you're speaking of?
Which one?
The one
This one?
Yeah.
It's not new. I know it has been there.
We migrated to 365 late 2011, 2012. The tool was being tested, and it used to show that we had 0 bandwidth. And for the same machine, we were conducting video and audio calls too successfully, even though the tool at the same time showed no bandwidth.
You had an idea which tool was that?
No, I don't, that's why I asked if this was a new tool. I don't recall. It was something that was sent to us from our Microsoft account team. They used a tool. I don't recall what it was.
Let me.
My question is, are there a set of reliability parameters in our environment that we take into account to use these tools?
Yes. So I just talked about because we had a session before and I talked about this tool, and then we have another tool called pre-call diagnostic tool. So these are the tools which work on the TCP protocols and ICMP and then the specific port numbers. Like this trip tool uses ICMP to see how much is the packet loss, how much is the latency, and how much is the bandwidth available. So it does some rough work. And then if you go to the pre-call diagnostic tool, it's also give you the summary of the reports about the packet loss and graphical results, etc., which works on the TCP packets, uses different ports altogether. So we use the environmental, I would say, dependencies like packet loss, latency, jitter, buffers, blah, blah. And it just gives you an idea to the end user, say, if I'm going to make a call right now on this network, how it's going to be at this moment. So that's the scenario that we're trying to build in to give end user the confidence to before they go ahead and click a call button. So that's the main idea about this tool. So. Yes. Now, so yeah, if ICMP is blocked, it's not going to behave well.
PCD is not for Lync Online, right? Because we don't have a call as yet.
No.
We can't run.
Thank you, Amit. So with this concepts about delay, jitter, and packet loss, as I told you, we can improve something on our network, but we cannot do anything about on the internet. But we can still apply the same policies from Windows on Windows machines to use to mark the packets, link packets, and voice and video packets. Yes.
Today, Lync Online, we configure these packets on the server. We use the policy, we use the PowerShell, we use staff with the tag the DHCP.
Yes.
So obviously we cannot tag it on a Lync Online server because we don't have access to it.
Yeah. But
Because 2013 is all inline, right? If there's no GPO, we can do it by GPO, but it's mostly inline policies.
Yeah, when you talk about like Lync Online and then the tagging the DSCP or QoS marking, we have to be mindful of the fact that it's going to respect the QoS marking till the time that it's in our MPLS cloud, moment it hits internet and stuff.
yes.
There's the client markings. You can go ahead
Yeah.
and do that.
Yeah,
There-
you actually you can do the client side, and we already took care of the servers. So as long as the packet stays on the managed network, we are going to leverage that capability.
How do we do client side? Because on-prem, it's out of that policy. We set up the server, it streams it to the client.
No. Well, in case for link clients, for instance, you have to use the policy GPO policies and apply it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you had a chance to attend the software-defined networking sessions, those are also we are looking, and there's a great work going on in Microsoft also for the SDN stuff. So you'll see some. Yeah, but there's as good as long as it hits internet. That's the reason we just want to make sure that bandwidth is just not the only concern, because internet is completely unmanaged. So how we improve that and how we improve the video and the voice quality, especially, that's a piece that the SDNs, and then if you have a dedicated link, and then absolutely when it comes to the link to Skype call, that's the reason we added Silk codec into the new CU release, so that link to Skype call can use Silk, which is more adaptive on the internet and it's giving good quality. So things are working on. So link to Skype calls will be Silk.
Yeah, so to respond to the question, we already have also guidance on which media port we can use, which media port we are going to use on online. So you can use it at the same media ports on your network. So you now know which media ports you can use on your network. So we split those media ports also, and then you can also apply these QoS policies by using GPO policies. Windows GPO policies. It's run for Windows 7, Windows 8 is the same that on-prem. QoS, what I told you is QoS applies to the peer-to-peer link conversations on your network. So you are taking care at least for those calls that stay on your network. Okay? So this is in terms of the kind of calls that you are going to be able to leverage QoS. In this case, just for the calls. For these ones, what is my pen? Here, back. For these calls and this, but not for all of this. Even that they are not going to honor the marking on the packets. Okay. Then these are the ports that we are using for audio, for video, and also the range for UDP. This is also important because if you are blocking those ports on your network, your customer network, that is going to interfere with the link functionality. We will not be able to establish audio and video calls. So that's the port that we already have. Well, in terms of link security, well, that's we are done with the session about the bandwidth. Okay, just want to show you anything, something else about the scenario about the peer-to-peers when we block. Can you see my desktop? Yes. So I have a capture here on what's happened when you are blocking peer-to-peer connection between these two users, just to show you that this could happen if you are blocking the traffic between them. This is the 68. This is my client, 192.168.1.68. This is my client. And then the other client is 67. They are both in the same network. I was expecting to have a connection between them, but I was blocking that connection. So let me see if I can. This is home AB blocking peer-to-peer. Yeah, this is. So this 132.245.0.36 is one of my AB servers. So I was trying to connect to between peers, but then I blocked the traffic between them. So if you can see here, all the media traffic, this was a code. All the media traffic, you can see the ports are the 50K port. The media traffic were to the edge, and then come back to my client, or from the edge to the other client. This is for packets. This is for SRTCP, and then I think I add video on one of those. Yes, this is for video also. But I send all the traffic to the edge server. This is once I was trying to establish the ICE connection between the other computer, which is the 70, and mine was the 68. We did some turn proofs to see if we can establish it. I didn't get a response from that peer, so I decided to go to the edge server. That's the reason we don't have traffic between 70 and 68 here. We only have these turn messages between them. Once I couldn't establish the connection, I decided to go to my edge, to my edge server, and start from there all the traffic. So this is the scenario where when we are blocking all the peer-to-peer connection on your network. So that can happen. Okay. So let's back to the another section of the presentation, which is the security. The security. So in terms of security, we have, I mean, in Lync Online, we already are taking care of all the security inside, from data perspective, from user perspective, for application perspective, all the way through the facility, including the facility. So we cannot do anything about it, I mean, as a users, but we are taking care of all those stuff about security on Office 365 data centers. So we have implemented controls on access, controls from the host site perspective, from the internal network, the perimeter network, and also access control for the facilities. So we are taking care of this security. For the traffic is traveling to the internet. We have the same that we have with Lync on-prem. All traffic is encrypted, so we are protected from interception. We are using IES, and then signaling traffic is also encrypted. Media traffic is also encrypted. We are using secure RTP. We are using IES to encrypt the traffic. We are also can archive peer-to-peer messages, instant messages on Exchange, and also we can archive. We are archiving the message for meetings. I mean, all the PowerPoint that you upload to the meetings, we keep it. We can keep it for some time, and this is the relaying scenario. What I told you about the stone. So all the connections to the internet are secure. We are encrypting media traffic, signaling traffic for calls, for conference also, and this is what I already told you. So also for federated users, for federated calls between Lync and Skype users, we are encrypting the traffic between those for audio and for video also. Okay, and then some of the other considerations about what I have to prove on my network in order to get the services running. We have to make sure that we can connect to these ports through my internet connection, 443, for STUN, for TCP, for all the edge ports that we are going to use during ICE negotiation, the 3478, and then the port for mobile, and all the 50K range that I told you about media, about audio and video, and also for file transfers. Okay, then also we have this recommendation. Make sure you can connect to all these domains, to all these sites. And for the retention, if you have questions from your customers probably about retention, we are keeping some time the content, like PowerPoints, OneNotes, attachments, other files that you use during your conference. And for one time or recurring meeting, that information, we keep that information 15 days. For meeting now meetings, we retain that information for 8 hours. So that's the amount of time that we keep your content on the Lync Online. Okay, and then finally, some other stuff that yes.
Is there an option to change that or archive it? Like,
No.
is there any? What about putting it in our Exchange?
You mean IM sessions? Yeah, you can archive on Exchange. I'm talking about the PowerPoint that we are uploading to the conference. To
If a customer has a requirement for whatever reason, right, is there APIs, is there third-party solutions, is there plugins?
no, no, we don't have that. We actually we cannot control that amount of data. That behavior also we cannot control that. The PowerPoint is going to be there for 15 days. Okay, and then another one of the last thing is new reports that we have with Lync with Office 365. In this case for Lync Online. This can help us to drive the adoption of audio and video workloads. If you know what is happening with your users, how many users are connected, you can say, well, I'm going to use this usage model, the medium or the low one or the highest one, or you can use your own because you know, okay, from my 1,000 users, I have now probably 700 or 600 users, or I have 1,000 users already connected, so that can help you to adapt the usage model that you are going to use to calculate the bandwidth. And then we have information for conference sessions, new reports, so you can run those reports. So you will see and you will be able to compare if you are having that amount of conference, and you can also adapt the usage model in order to calculate your bandwidth. Also for the peer-to-peer, how many peer-to-peer sessions do I have on my network? I have that information. And for video also, for video conference, audio and video conference. This is only the numbers. What I mean is once we finish a call or a conference, we usually send a report about the quality of experience of that call in Lync on-premise. We have a report that we send that report to monitoring server. But in this case, we do have monitoring servers on Lync Online, but as a user, we cannot have access to those reports. In the future, we will can add those information because it's going to help us a lot to again review what was the experience on that call or for that Lync call, peer-to-peer call or conference call. But that should be good. Okay, so we don't offer those QoE reports. In the future, we can address that.
I'm pretty sure it's not possible, but I thought I would ask you, in the case of hybrid environment, is it possible if we have a monitoring server deployed on-prem, is it possible to get the QoE for...
Just for your on-prem users.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, because all the users are hosted on your on-prem servers, and that sites are assigned to one monitoring report, which is also on-prem. But you cannot assign online servers to that monitoring server. Okay, so all this information is gonna help us with the adoption of the services. It's gonna make it simpler. Okay, these are the monitoring reports. We enable also some PowerShell commands, so you can build your reports about in terms of how many users are active, how many conferences do you have, how many peer-to-peer sessions do you have, how many of them includes audio and video. Okay, and that takes us to the end of the session. Thank you very much. Then we can start with the questions. Yes.
So, are any of the product offerings from Lync Online or 365, are any of them certified against any external bodies like ISO 27001 or?
Yeah, we have all those. I mean, I don't have the list right now in my mind about all those certifications in terms of security, in terms of data center. We are using the same ones for Exchange. They are the same data centers.
I'm not talking just about data centers. Data centers are only a small component of that. It's more about the service itself. If you have a security requirement to fulfill those standards, it's not about the data centers themselves, it's about the service provided, because it doesn't just apply to the data center building and facilities, it also applies to how you as a company deal with access into customer environments.
Yeah, we have that. We have some of them. I remember we have some of them for the data center per se, but also for in terms of security, to how we control access for the facility, how we control access also to the equipment, and how we take care of the security per se. On that area.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, as per the service security is concerned, there are certain certifications that are done, and as per the countries or the geographic requirement. So like in US, there are certain requirements that we have got the certification. And if you look at the service itself, any electronic communication should be secured in X, Y, Z per se. Those are there for, and they are being done as we look at different geographies to expand.
Done? Okay, thank you. Don't forget to fill the bars, please. Thank you very much.